just wrapping up some halachot of the Muktzeh. There's a lot more we can do, but I guess just to wrap up some last few points for today. We'll start with something new then next week. So an extension of what we spoke about yesterday of Muktzeh Tiltul min HaTzad. What's the practical case of that? It's the following case. Let's say someone has different types of shells and egg shells and stuff like that aren't ra'ui lemachal be'ema, which we've already explained many times, are considered Muktzeh. If you want to clean up, it goes let's say they're on the table somewhere and it's a big mess. You'll be allowed to clean these things up by using, let's say, a knife or any of these scrapers that scrapes the table and cleans it up. Why? Because you're trying to clean up the table and you're using it in a non-tiltul min HaTzad way. Therefore, be mutar, and that's a practical example of what we explained yesterday in regards to tiltul min HaTzad. Similarly, if you have things that fall to the floor, different types of garbage and stuff like that aren't even fit for any animal, so we said it will be considered Muktzeh. Nevertheless, you'll still be allowed to broom and clean the floor because you want to have a clean house on Shabbat. You want to have a clean place on Shabbat. It's be mutar, and it's just the brooming. It would be okay. Now, there's a few other things they bring down here, but I think just one last thing that's more practical is Muktzeh b'mechubar. Is there concept? The halacha explains that when something is attached to the ground, davar mechubar lekarka, that harbe poskim ein alav torat muktzeh klal. According to many poskim, it's not considered. It doesn't enter the realm of muktzeh. So what's the classic example? Rav Moshe Feinstein brings this up. Is, let's say I have a lamp that's plugged into the outlet. That lamp that's only on when it's plugged in, I'm allowed to move it around because ein muktzeh mechubar. There's no muktzeh when something is attached to the ground. So even though in theory, you want to argue the light, maybe the light switch, all these things, if you obviously have to be careful, don't press a light on or off. But the light is on already. Nothing changes, no sensors go on or off when I move it. I'm allowed to move this lamp from here to here, or those bedside lights as well, the Shabbat lights, you can cover those things as well, because it's a concept of ein muktzeh b'mechubar. There's no muktzeh with something that is attached to the ground. This is a very important, very practical halacha that appears all over Shabbat. And Rabbi Chaim holds like that halacha as well. Rabbi Chaim always explains that, for example, another classic example is the fan. You have a fan that's plugged in. It doesn't change any settings, no sensors, nothing when you pick it up and move it. I'm allowed to reposition it and turn it around on Shabbat when it's very hot, because if I want more wind to come to this direction. There's no problem of muktzeh, even though the fan is on. I can lift it, turn it, put it back down, no problem whatsoever, because the idea of ein muktzeh b'mechubar, there's no muktzeh when it is attached to the ground. It's a very important halacha, and with that, we'll wrap up with there's more to discuss, but I think it's a good place to end. And God willing, next week we'll start with a new topic. Chazak Baruch and Shabbat Shalom.